welcome to our race review of the US Grand Prix. The US Grand Prix was held in Austin, Texas at the world famous COTA. It was a big crowd, over 400,000 people were there for the weekend on this hot day. So we're gonna have a quick race review because we gotta cover the controversy after the race with Hamilton and Charles Leclerc.
Controversy means viewers.
10 million viewers.
10 million viewers would be awesome. Now, Charles Leclerc loses his first place to Lando Norris, and Lando Norris holds on to first place going into lap 2. We had a clean start to the race. Lewis Hamilton was up to 3rd place by the 6th lap. Max Verstappen and his Red Bull were up to 4th place early on in the race. Now, Esteban Ocon has to retire by lap 7. He gets into a collision with Oscar Piastri, and also Oscar Piastri by lap 10, he also had to retire. Oscar Piastri had to retire at this early stage of the race. Now, Max Verstappen pitted on lap 17, and this is where we get to a round of pit stops for a variety of drivers. We also have Carlos Sainz pitting on lap 18, and then on lap 21, we had Lewis Hamilton pitting. At the halfway mark of the race, we had the top 5 of Lando Norris, Max Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton, Carlos Sainz, and Sergio Perez. Max Verstappen comes in for his final pit stop on lap 36. Charles Leclerc is wasting his day at the office. He gets passed by Max Verstappen on lap 39, and then he gets passed by Lewis Hamilton on lap 43.
I should have just stayed home.
Yeah, Charles is having a horrible day at the US Grand Prix, and it's only going to get worse. Lewis Hamilton passes Lando Norris for 2nd place. Charles Leclerc gets passed by Carlos Sainz for 4th place, and he also gets passed by Sergio Perez. Fernando Alonso had to retire on lap 49 with damage to his floor, and at the end, Max Verstappen is able to come home for his 50th win in Formula 1. He's able to win the US Grand Prix. He was having problems because he was having challenges with the track, and he was yelling at his race engineer to be quiet under braking. Nonetheless, Max Verstappen comes home with about a 2-second lead. His lead was dwindling fast. Lewis Hamilton was catching up, but he was able to still win the race, catching his 50th win at the US Grand Prix. This was a great win for Max Verstappen in the Texas heat. But you know who also can make us win? You viewers. So if you like and subscribe so we can bring you more racing videos about the racing world and people in it. So Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc were disqualified from the race, which we think is utter bullshit because their car plank was not within regulations. When you start a race, it starts with 10 millimeters, and then with it wearing off, it shouldn't be less than 9 millimeters. This is where you see the sparks on the car in the race. This is where the plank is touching the ground. Now, they were not within regulation. They were disqualified, which is bullshit. The team should have been fined, not the drivers being disqualified. Also, COTA, which with some research, we found out it was built on soft clay-like soil. So the track is also built in a floodplain. The underlying soils are highly plasticky, and it tend to expand when moist or contract during drying. So the track actually developed bumps, which now has caused these planks to wear down. Also, unsafe conditions for MotoGP riders. In 2022, the track was repaved in certain portions, but it seemed to be still a problem. So it's more COTA's problem, not the teams of Formula 1 or Lewis Hamilton or Charles Leclerc. Take away constructor points. Don't penalize the drivers. We also have more reviews coming. We have the Mexico GP review coming this weekend. We know Formula 1 is in Brazil, so we'll be covering that. We hope you enjoyed the race review video. If we're going to rate the race, we're not going to rate the race because by them being disqualified, we're going to put an NA on this race. They kind of ruined it. Plus, we know Max Verstappen already wrapped up the title, and the Constructors' title is wrapped up by Red Bull. We hope you enjoyed the race review video. Redbet, signing off.